Behind me are two of the best second gens Dodge ever made. I'm not saying just these two specifically. I'm talking 2001.5 and 2002. There's a lot of stuff on the internet lately about holy grails and second gens and what guys always thought it was the early 98. Well, I'll tell you what, you want my opinion? Those are the holy grails right there. In my opinion, the 2001.5, the 2002, that's the holy grail era right there. Now, that's subjective. I know a lot of guys, they would say, hey, an early 98 that's a short bed, a 5-speed, and has factory leather. Hey, that is a rare bird truck, and that is pretty cool. And that is definitely, from a collector's standpoint, that is high on the list as far as a second gen as a collector's piece. But if you're going to get in and drive these trucks, work these trucks, all those sorts of things, you know what? The old 12 valve era second gen can't compare to the late second gen era. More horsepower, better transmissions, better computer controls. And that can be argued about maybe a lack of computer controls, but if you got an automatic, the computer controlling is better in these than an early truck. Better interior, in my opinion, best looking of all the second gens. 99 comes out with the sport package, and ooh, does that look good. That's how every second gen should have rolled out of the factory, if you want my opinion. The new interior, black leather, so sexy, no doubt about it. 6-speed transmission. And then one of the biggest things in these trucks is the disc brakes. You can go back, you can say, well, the era got the 97, they went to the hydraulic booster. 2000, we go to dual piston calipers in the front. Big upgrade there. Finally, though, then late 2001, it has to be a late 01, not an early 01, you got rear disc brakes. And here is one of the biggest gaps between those early second gens and the later second gens. There's not a lot you can do with the brakes And say my 96. Yeah, you can do the 73-37 rear wheel cylinders. That helps. But if you're not careful, actually, if you got a lot of weight behind the truck, you can actually warp the drums with those cylinders in there. So the front, I'm not aware of a lot you can do. So then where you're at with these trucks is you already have a lot better brakes stock. Then you can even make this jump further by doing the 3rd gen brake conversion, which is really easy on these trucks. And all of a sudden you have the same brakes that a 2008 3rd gen has, essentially. Huge jump from 2008 era brakes that were still the same, all the way back to the 90s stuff of single piston, even vacuum boosters. That is, again, if you are going to use these trucks, brakes matter. So let's check these out. So this is a 2002 factory HO 6-speed, black, obviously, but this is factory black, even though it has been repainted. Factory sport truck. That means, boom, automatically get clicked leather. All the options, all the power, everything inside, the cool front end. This truck, unfortunately, years ago had a little mishap with a rock and did some damage to the front bumper. And at that time, the 4th gen bumper was still cool and new. So we did it. Now, yeah, it's overplayed, but it's okay. Later on, I did wind up and straighten that bumper. It took me quite a few hours, but I did get that sucker twisted back. And it wound up on the 96 when I did the sport conversion before paint with that truck. So, in 2002, if you were going to order a Dodge diesel and you planned to tow with that sucker, haul with it, that sort of thing, and you like nice, you like luxury, of course there's tradesmen guys and they want nothing more. They want this as simple as possible. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Hey, more power to you. I'm a luxury guy. I'm going to order the top trim. Why not drape myself in velvet and whatever, because I'm the one that's driving it, I'm the one that's using it, I'm the one that practically lives in it on a daily basis. I want nice as possible. So this is the truck right here. This is as good as it got in 2002. 2001, 2002, this is as good as it got. You got the biggest horsepower, the 245, 505 numbers. You got the bulletproof 6-speed transmission. You got away from the late 2000s. It had input shaft issues. This has the bigger input shaft in 2001, 2002. The drivetrains in these trucks are bulletproof. 2002-ish, somewhere in there, they got rid of the CAD. This one does have CAD in it. So that's kind of a up in the air when the serial number or VIN number break is, where they went to 3rd gen style in these. But you can find some of these without the CAD, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. I personally kind of like CAD, and I'm glad they brought it back on the 5th gens. So from a factory standpoint, this is the most capable 2nd gen that does exist. The biggest brakes, the highest horsepower, the best transmission. There you go. She's ready to tow and haul in 2002. So let's check out the automatic version. So this is practically the exact same truck, except this is a 235 460 standard output. High output, standard output. The 235 horse standard output either had the 47RE auto, which was more common, or the NV4500 5-speed still was available. But it seems like usually at that point in that era with the HO package available, it seems like usually the HO was selected. If you wanted standard transmission, that's what guys ordered. It seems like there's a lot more of the 6-speed trucks than there were the 5-speeds in 2001, 2002. Don't get that confused with the 97 and 99, okay? So, but yeah, here we go. This is an automatic. So if you didn't want to shift your own gears, this is as good as it got right here. Same thing, same brakes, same drivetrain behind the transmission. If you had a 3500, 2500 automatics, had the Dana 70 in the back. But Again, same thing. This is as good as it got for a second gen. The transmission controls are quite a bit better in a later second gen than an early. My 96, the programming for the converter and overdrive, it sucks compared to this truck. This truck is a lot more drivable and lays the power down slightly more efficiently than the earlier trucks. Throw in another fun little fact. Now you've got the Jacobs dealer installed exhaust brake out. 24 valves could run an exhaust brake from the factory, 12 valves could not. You got to change out the valve springs, if I understand correctly, to safely run an exhaust brake. So now, like this truck that has the Jacobs exhaust brake, you could order this truck brand new. When it got to the dealer, had them install the factory Jacobs setup, and you're going, man. You, like I said, you got as good as it could be in 2002. Now we'll talk about a couple of differences, SO versus HO on the engine specs. We're going to go way back here. We're going to go back when these trucks were new. I remember when these trucks were new. We bought these 2004, 2005, so they were only a couple of years old. The hot recipe for an SO truck was an edge comp. That was it, man. You slap that edge comp, 5 settings, you're making 120 horse on level 5, or even a little bit naughtier on level 6 if you had the hot unlock. Now, the thing with the HO, believe it or not, is the injectors are, my understanding, the injectors are actually slightly smaller in this truck than this truck, and if you're really pushing the limits, which most people aren't, but the HO pump actually can't flow as much fuel as the SO pump. Don't ask me why all that is, but it is what it is. And that still stands for today. If you're a VP guy and you're wanting to go down the drag strip and make as much horsepower as possible, you want an SO pump, not an HO pump. So, but that doesn't matter a whole lot from the factory. Not very hard to push 245, 505 out of the HO pump and the HO injector. So back to that. Comp box or the TST Power Max was another good hot box. Blue Chips Red Line box. Man, those are the good old days. Seriously, those were the good old days. But anyway, on the HO, injectors were highly encouraged. The shops that were hot in those days, they would recommend to do injectors. So that's what we did. This truck got one of the very first Edge juices when that came out, which was the same thing as a comp, except it had a monitor. And then we've got this truck, we put Mach 1 EDM injectors in it, were 65 horse, and boy did that wake this truck up. Because the thing is with a comp box, you only got 90 horse out of this pump with just the electronic. I'm trying to shoot a YouTube video here. So yeah, you could only make 90 horse on an HO with a comp box versus 120. So that's why the injectors were a popular upgrade. These trucks right here, for the most part, man, are straight out of early 2000s. Not a lot has changed. Trying to convince Senior, because this would be my dad's truck. This one was mine, is mine. This one's updated slightly with a Quadzilla Adrenaline, but the Edge juice with the hot unlock that came off of this, which my buddy Sam Andrew, he's got that now. This truck was hot with that. Ran good. Thinking about putting an Edge Easy on here, that's one thing that I see a little bit as a downfall of the injector only deal, is this truck is still stuck at 22 pounds. It would be nice to get it up to the 32. But without some sort of electronic upgrade as a boost fooler, can't do it. But on the other hand, it's been like that for 19 years. The other thing that's different between these two engines is compression ratio. If I'm shooting off memory here, 16.3 to 1, 17.1 to 1, if I remember correctly. The other thing is the timing. To me, my ears, maybe yours are different, I don't know. The HO trucks sound slightly different than the SOs, just a pinch, about that much. And I I think it's the timing. A friend of mine, we were talking about that. He thought the same thing, and we think it's the timing. The timing is what makes it sound slightly different. Maybe, maybe not. But I love these trucks. We have no intentions to get rid of them anytime soon. This is an era that is unmatched, really. And you know, your results may vary. You may say the Holy Grail is that early 98. Sure. Hey, if you're from California, you may say a 97 that's pre-smog. Everything 97 and older is no smog on that. You may say 97 is the golden year for you. But in my opinion, the Holy Grail, it's these two guys, and probably more votes would be for the HOs. The 6-speed is obviously well loved. For me though, I will say one last thing. I will say though, you know what? I enjoy driving this truck more than this one. Towing, hauling, of course, which this truck has done 10 times as much hauling heavy as that one with the old automatic. It's on automatic number 3. But yeah, I mean, it would arguably, could say this is it, the HO with that big NV5600 with the factory exhaust or dealer installed exhaust brake. Find another stock second gen that can match this, you can. But you know, on a daily basis, driving around, this truck's fast, man, with a built automatic, low stall, 3-disc converter, all the goodies in it. This thing picks up and moves. This truck's not bad, but doesn't shift gears quite like that one does. So, like I said, if I want to go tow something heavy, I would prefer to use this one. If I want to go have some fun and drive around and just get around, I'll take the automatic. Either one, fantastic trucks. Hey, thanks for watching. This was fun. This is another Versus in my Versus series. I hope you enjoyed it. This is, like I said, just kind of a fun one, and had both of these trucks together at the same time that were washed. That helps. So I thought I'd throw this one together for you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. See you on the next one. Bonus round. How about that? Silver, black, and red. That was an SLT. That's the bumper that was on that truck. I saved it. I didn't let that go anywhere. Got that thing straightened back out and put back together, and came in for a good use later in life, because that truck came a lot later than that one did. I've only had this one for about 4 years, 5 years, something like that. But 96, 2001, 2002, and again, back to that. That truck is nice, it's simple, it's a great truck. It only has 178,000 miles, original miles. But the bottom line is these trucks here, these two are definitely I want to say a generation, because we're talking second generation, but it is definitely a big difference jumping in these and jumping in that one. So again, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.